2, 1, and we're live. And we're live, folks. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. You know what? I just thought about it right now. We need some music for the background. How do we do this? You got any? Hold on, folks. We need some music for the background. How can we play it on the thing so it can sound better?
Spotify.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on, folks. Technical difficulties. We are gonna play some music for you guys because we need to have some music in the background. A ver, what do you got going on here? No, not this one. Hold on, espérate. Saludos, mi amor, ¿cómo andamos? Hold on, folks. We're gonna start the music. Well, I guess we can play that one, huh? To the live audience. See, that's why I'm at. That's why I'm gonna fire the director. I'm gonna get a new production crew because I can't do my thing. This is my show. And we gotta do what I gotta do, right? But anyway, we got some music playing now. I'm gonna put it over here so it doesn't interrupt our conversation. Today's show is gonna be about. That's right. I'm not smoking cigars right now, by the way. Just letting you guys know ahead of time before we continue the show. I'm not smoking cigars right now because I gave up cigars and smoking for Lent. Yeah, I am Catholic. I'm not the best Catholic in the world, or the best Christian in the world. I'm not the best person in the world. I never have claimed to be the best person in the world, but hey, I try. And that being said, check this out. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Que chulada. This is a Davidoff, señores. Signature Davidoff. I don't know if you guys can read the label. And this is obviously a Connecticut. And what do I mean by Connecticut? Most of you already know. You've seen my videos. When I say Connecticut, that is just the color or basically the flavor of the wrapper of the leaf. Es una chulada, la neta. Es una chulada. Oh my God! If you guys could smell this, if you could smell the foot of look at the foot of the cigar. This sucker's creamy, man. I can tell you right now, just by smelling it. Oh my God! And this cigar is already this is a 12-year-old cigar, 12 years old. And what I mean by when I say the age, when I say the how old the cigar is, I'm talking about it's 12 years old, being that from when the seed was put in the ground and the tobacco was grown. To right now, it's at least 12 years old, at least, minimum. Because Davidoff doesn't do anything less than 10 years old. So that being said, because Davidoff makes probably some of the best cigars in the world. Davidoff claims to be the Rolls Royce of cigars. So those of you that don't know Davidoff, if you're into cigars, and you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean when I say Davidoff's some of the best cigars in the world. They just get down. They just they take a lot of pride in their stuff. And Davidoff is made in Dominican Republic. Now, just because they're made in Dominican Republic doesn't mean that they don't use leaves and tobacco from other countries. All tobacco companies do that. So, ¿qué música tenemos? Let me see. Does that music go with the... No, let me change the music, guys, because I think I prefer something a little more upbeat, a little more modern. Oh, yeah, and I'm wearing one of the original... If not the original Tractor Dr. hats. This was the original, the prototype. If you notice one of the wheels doesn't have a tire, only the back one. This was the original, the only one I have left out of the prototypes. So let's go here, hold on. Yeah, because this is not going to cut it. Somebody put it on something that's not even close. Let's go here to, watch, check this out. This is more cigar music. Mira nomás, qué chulada. This is the more cigar music. Alright, here we go. Check it out. Everybody loves somebody somehow. Now let me find that. I had a sneeze. Sorry, folks. I had a sneeze. Hold on. Let me. Let's go to D Martin Radio. D Martin Radio is a lot better because we get a little bit of everything. All right. Now there we go. That's cigar music. All right. So anyway, back to the cigar, folks. Sorry about that. We had a little interruption. El Niño de Oro. Hell yeah. I love that song. So anyway, we're talking about the Davidoff Signature Series right here. It's in a Connecticut wrapper, of course. And this cigar, like I said, is already probably 10 years old. Minimum 10 years old. Probably is going to be more than the 12, 15-year-old range already. And so it's been aged properly. The leaves have been aged properly. The binders, the filters. This is all puro. This is a puro. That's what they mean when they say puro. That means that all three tobaccos in the cigar, all the components in the cigar, come from the same country. So that being said, this is a Dominican puro. So all the leaves came from Dominican Republic. And as to do most of the cigars from Davidoff or Davidoff series, all come from Dominican Republic. Probably the best cigars right now in the world are all coming from Dominican Republic. Everybody, like I said before in the past, everybody thinks Cuba. Cuba is, yeah, they make good cigars, but not like before. Cuba ya nomás le quedó la pura fama. You know, that's todo lo que les quedó. Les quedó la pura fama porque desafortunadamente en Cuba se metieron muchas compañías chinas y esas compañías chinas degradaron mucho la cualidad del tabaco. La calidad del tabaco en Cuba ya disminuyó mucho por la misma razón de que entraron muchas compañías chinas y esas compañías chinas pues les vale madre. Ellos quieren volumen, no quieren calidad, y porque bajaron mucho la calidad del tabaco que se siembra y crece en Cuba. El cigarro cubano auténtico, lo que era el cubano, lo que era antes el Cuban, you know, eso ya quedó en la historia. Desafortunadamente, Cuba todavía tiene uno que otro proveedor de cigars, de tabaco que se deja caer la leña, que es, you know, they got good flavors. Pero ya ahorita, hoy en día, hay tantas tabaqueras en todo el mundo, primordialmente en Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, México, Guatemala, even the United States. Yeah, that being said, you can find really good tobaccos even in the United States. Primarily in the northeast is where you see a lot of tobacco. You won't see it in the west over here. You figure California, the biggest ag state in the United States. California is the biggest, you know, for ag. But you won't find tobacco in California. Why? Because we don't have the climate. We don't have the climate for the tobacco. And even if we did, tobacco, you know, is really frowned upon in California. That brings me to another subject, which we're going to get into now, because we're talking about cigars today. They're trying to pass a law in California that will prohibit the sale of tobacco, any type of tobacco, and I mean any kind of tobacco. I mean cigars, cigarettes, anything. They're trying to pass a law that if they pass this law in California, anybody born after 2007 will no longer be able to buy tobacco. That means it's going to take about 60-something years for this to happen. But you know, I'll probably be dead by then. Some of you guys probably won't even see that law go through, but our kids, our grandkids, they won't be able to enjoy a good cigar. Why? Because California is going to make it to where anybody born after 2007 will no longer be able to purchase tobacco. It's going to be illegal. You won't be able to buy it. You have to be a certain age to buy it. And in 2053, I believe, you'll have to prove that you're 67 years old just to buy tobacco. So by then it's like, shit, you know, probably nobody will be smoking or whatever. But they're just trying to put an end to all smoking, period. And I'm talking about cigars too as well, which is kind of a shame because, you know, if you enjoy a good cigar, I've known people, now that I got involved with cigars and I do a little cigar smoking, you know, I'm not a professional. I never claimed to be a professional. I'm just what you call an average, everyday cigar smoker. Sorry for the interruption. ¿Qué pasó? Sorry about that, folks. I had a phone call, and every time I get a phone call, this shit wigs out. Yeah, no, ¿qué onda, Antonio? Like I said, on tobacco, yeah, California is really, really strict on tobacco. They're probably the most strict state there is when it comes to tobacco. And lo que le viene pasando es que eventually this is going to ban all tobacco products in the state of California, even cigars, even cigarettes. And like I said, now that I started smoking cigars here a few years back, and I've gotten to know cigars, and I've gotten to enjoy cigars. I really enjoy a cigar. If you really start smoking cigars, and you really focus on the flavors and the profiles of the cigar, and you take your time to smoke it right, and you just ease on into it, and you take a puff every minute. The rule of thumb is when you're smoking a cigar, you puff on it once a minute, and that's it. And then you wait, give it some time. If you got a good cigar, it's not going to turn off. It's going to stay steady lit, and that ash is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. Especially when you have good tobacco, good cigars, good fillers and binders, and the quality. Oh my God, this cigar just, it smells amazing. And I can tell you by the smell of this cigar that this sucker is going to be nice and creamy. It's going to have a lot of vanilla notes. And when I mean vanilla, I'm talking about, you know those vanilla cookies? The one with the white cream? That's what I'm talking about right there. Wow. Just the sweetness, the cream. Wow. And that's all natural from the tobacco. That's not added into the flavor. These are not infused cigars. A good cigar is not going to be infused with anything. Just the natural tobacco leaf itself is going to give it the flavor. And that's why it takes so long to make a good cigar, because these suckers sit in barrels sometimes, whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels, whatever, and they get aged. These leaves get aged for 10, 12, 15 years. And that's what gives them the profile, the flavor that they have. Oh, my God. Yep. Oh, my God. That's just beautiful, man. I'm getting off track here. I'm starting to get off track because of the smell. I want to light it so bad, but I can't. I give it up for Lent. So 40 days on those cigars. Imagine. I'm dying here. So what I was getting back at to the cigars, the cigar world, the cigar industry. Excuse me. I got a little stuffy nose, whatever, from the weekend. But anyway, what I've learned about cigars is you learn to relax. You learn to have a good time, and you get to meditate as you're smoking the cigar. You sit there and relax, smoke the cigar, whether it be with a cup of coffee. Yeah, the entire cigar is different from the top to bottom. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't know that. You're absolutely right, Antonio. The cigar in itself has 3 different flavors in it. So that being said, when you first light up from here to here, which is about 2 fingers, you're going to get 1 flavor. And the next 3 fingers, you're going to get another flavor. And then the very end, you're going to get another flavor. You're going to get 3 flavors in this bad boy. And 9 out of 10, the best flavor is always right here in the middle. When you get about 2 fingers in, that's when you get the best of the flavor right there. And of course, como te digo, these Davidoffs they're no joke when it comes to quality. They really emphasize quality, and they make really good cigars. That's what they're known for, you know. And every time I've had a Davidoff, I've never been disappointed. I've never been disappointed. They're just good cigars, man. And anyway, you know, they're not a budget-friendly cigar if you're going for budget-friendly, I guess you could say. But hey, these cigars aren't meant to be smoked every day unless you got money. Que te valga madre. Chingue su madre. Go fucking, you know, go spend $50 every day on a good cigar. Fuck it. Que te valga madre. You know, because these range from $25 to $50 per stick. So they're not a poor man's cigar by any means. But, you know, you just, you budget in. You say, hey, man, I'm going to buy me a good cigar once a month. Splurge on yourself, man. Save up. At the end of the year, buy yourself a box. You can get a box of good Davidoffs for $400. And it comes with 20 of them. So you're talking about $20 a cigar. $20 a stick. You know, so that's not too bad. You probably find it a little cheaper sometimes. So $20 a stick. If you buy them online, you buy a box. Throw it in your humidor. Leave it. Put it away. Oh, the Cohiba V-Hike. Yeah, no, you're talking another. Yeah, you're on another level. And you know what? To me, honestly, a good Davidoff will kill a Cohiba any day, hands down. Davidoff is just on another level, man. They brought the cigar game to. They're just way up here, man. Cohiba's here, Davidoff's up here now, man. It's just unreal. Don't get me wrong, Cohiba does make some good cigars, and there's still a lot of out there that they made that were really good from back in the day that people have in their humidors that are like, they call them unicorns because they're hard to find. Don't get me wrong, there's some badass Cohibas out there, but you don't find them as often, and Cohiba is the most counterfeited cigar in the industry. So, that being said, everybody wants to make Cohiba. Everybody wants to beat Cohiba. And they make a lot of copies, man. They make a lot of counterfeit Cohibas. So for me to get a good Cohiba, and I'll tell you right when I light it up if it's good or not. I can tell you by the label, by looking at it, if it's fake or real. You get to know all these stuff. You get to know all this stuff. No, see, no, I'm not drinking right now. I'm not drinking any alcohol. I gave up alcohol and tobacco for Lent. Yeah, I'm not drinking right now either for 40 days. But when I'm getting back to the cigars, yeah, Cohiba it's there's so many fakes out there. It's not even funny. So even if you do get a good Cohiba, yeah, they're good. Don't get me wrong. But if the person that gave it to you, unfortunately, doesn't know how to keep cigars, and they got it for free, like say, you're at a party and somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I got you a Cohiba. This one came from Cuba. So and so brought it to me. He was in Mexico and he went to Cuba and got me the cigar, but they kept it in their pantry in a Ziploc, and they didn't take care of it, and it hasn't been in the humidor kept properly. It's not gonna taste good no matter what. So, in order for you to have a good cigar, I can have an Oliva, a $2 Oliva, that's in my humidor for 6 months, that I've kept at perfect temperature and perfect humidity, and that Oliva is going to taste way better than the Cohiba that you pay $50 for. Why? Because it was kept correctly in the humidor, and it's got the humidity right, it's got everything's just right. Versus, you buy one of the junk. It's like, okay, let me put it to you this way. If I give you a nice cold ass, delicious cold ass Ultra in the middle of summer at 110 degrees, and this Ultra has ice in it, and it's cold as hell, and it's an Ultra, just a regular Ultra beer out of a can, and you drink that beer at 110 degrees outside when it's sweltering hot, and that beer is ice cold and it tastes great, and it's a fresh beer, and then I give you a Vicky that's been in my car in the trunk in the sun, and it's 80 degrees, and you drink that Vicky, you're gonna be like, what the heck? It's going to be caldo. It's going to taste like shit. Even though Vicky's a way better beer than the Ultra. Same thing with cigars. If you give me a badass Cohiba that's been kept in a pinche closet or something, or in a Ziploc bag, in a sandwich bag, downward, somewhere by the cucharas in your drawer in the kitchen, and you give me an Oliva that's only $2, and it's been kept well in the humidor, I'm going to take the Oliva all day, every day. Why? Because it's going to taste better. And I know for a fact it's going to taste better because you had it in the humidor. The other day I went to a buddy's house and he had some badass cigars. When he first got them, they weren't that great. Why? Because they weren't kept right. They weren't kept in the humidor. The leaves were falling apart. They were dry. They didn't taste right. He kept them in the humidor. 3 months later, 4 months later, we have one, the same cigar. Freaking delicious. Bomb. Not chulada. But because, it was getting aged, it was getting the proper humidity, and it was kept in the humidor just right. That's why I say a lot of times it depends on how you keep the cigar, where you keep it, and it depends on, what cigar it is, of course. Now, there's some budget-friendly cigars that are $5-6 that taste phenomenal, man. I mean phenomenal. They leave you with, wow, man, this cigar is freaking bad. One of my all-time favorite cigars is a Flathead 660 by CAO. It's a Brazilian cigar, but it's got a San Andreas wrapper. San Andreas is a Mexican wrapper, Mexican tobacco, San Andreas. And that cigar is wow, it's phenomenal. It's a Maduro, full strength, but it's just got some badass flavors, man. Once you have it in the humidor for a month or two, the Presidio cigars are pretty good already, period. It's because it's a Maduro. It's got bolder flavors. The flavors are better. Pero, yeah, it's just wow. It's a really good cigar, man. And I highly recommend it. If you're into the stronger cigars with bold flavors, with chocolate flavors, with coffee notes, with espresso, like when you get a strong ass, I guess you could say Starbucks, and you get one of those strong coffees with some of that cream on the top or whatever, heavy cream, and you take that jolt, and it's got that real strong espresso coffee flavor. That's what a CAO 660 tastes like. It's a strong, bold cigar, but it's phenomenal, man. It gives you great smoke through the whole cigar. And if it's kept well in your humidor and it's in the right condition, it could be way better, 10 times better than a Cohiba any day. But you gotta like the flavors. You gotta like the strong cigars. A lot of celebrities trying to make tequilas taste better because of popularity. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's like tequilas también. You get. I don't know if you guys know the guy that does a show about cooking, diners, dive-ins, and dives or something like that. Guy Ferrera, I think his name is the guy with the spiky hair. Guy something. He's a foodie. He goes around restaurants and tries food. And anyway, that guy there, he's got a cigar line. Him and I believe who is it? Foundation Cigars. I think it's Foundation Cigars. They started their own cigar line, and I've been wanting to try one of their cigars. I've actually read some reviews. I've done a little research on the cigar, and they look like they're pretty good cigars. They got a little line of cigars going. From what I read, they're all medium to fulls. They're all medium to fulls. I don't think he has any Connecticut's on the line. I think they're all, the stronger stuff. But, yeah, I want to try one of their cigars. Everybody claims that they use some pretty good tobacco to make those cigars. And they use a lot of aged tobaccos that are at least minimum 8 years old, I believe. So, Guy Ferrer, I think is his name. The guy that does the food. He's on the Food Channel a lot, and he does a lot of those food diner divings and dives or something that was called the show. Yeah, but he has his own cigar line now. Yep. And from what I heard, Acid Cuba, you'd be surprised. That's what they call a budget-friendly cigar. And Acid gets a really bad rap because a lot of people think they see the label. The label turns you off a lot. Labeling has a lot to do with the cigar. Some guys look at a label and they think, oh man, this cigar is going to be badass. They look at the color of the cigar and they're like, wow, this is going to taste phenomenal. And then you light it and then you're like, what the hell is this? Like I got an Habano 19, I can't remember the actual, it's a vintage Habano. 2000, a vintage 2000. So this is 2023, so you're thinking, hey shit, this tobacco's 23 years old, it's going to be a badass smoke. And it was a pretty budget-friendly cigar. I think it was like $6 a cigar. I bought a box of those. And actually, I won them on cigarbid.com. I'm not trying to promote cigarbid.com, but man, they got some badass deals on cigarbid.com. If you want some good cigars for cheap, go to cigarbid.com. That's just cigarbid.com, and you can bid on the free falls, and those you get a hell of a deal on good cigars. They got everything in there too. They got Davidoffs, they got Cohibas in there, they got Aroma de Cubas, and they have a lot of acid in there, a lot of Cubas. Those are good cigars, but I call it a beginner cigar, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason I call it a beginner cigar is because the Cuba or the acid line, they're actually made by a really good company. They have the company that makes them is pretty well known in the cigar industry. They've been around for years, and I believe their factory's in Nicaragua, and I think they have a place in Honduras. But anyway, I'm trying to think right now on the top of my head what the name of the company is that makes Cuba. But I call it a beginner cigar because they make a lot of good mild cigars. A lot of what people call the golfing cigar. Because a lot of golfers tend to have a mild cigar while they're golfing. And that being said, they usually go for a real medium, a real mild, mellow cigar. And Cuba makes some of the best when it comes to the mild stuff. They use a lot of Connecticut leaves, a lot of Connecticut wraps. They use a lot of Connecticut for their binders even, which is not really common. Most of the time, the binders and the fillers are going to be a little stronger, so they can, that flavor profile can be there. Because what happens is, so when you get a cigar, and there's 3 pieces to a cigar, right? There's 3 pieces to the cigar. There's the filler. I'm gonna get it closer right there. There's the filler, the stuff in the middle, and then there's a binder, and then there's a wrap. And you do get a lot of flavor from the wrap, from the leaf, which is the final wrap. But a lot of the flavor comes from the filler and the binder. And what happens is, in order for you to get a good cigar, you go to a blender. And these blenders, that's all they do. That's all they do is make and blend cigars all day long, all year long. That's their job. Like Pepin Garcia or AJ Fernandez. AJ Fernandez is like a pinche. He's known throughout the industry because AJ Fernandez makes and blends a lot of good cigars. But the only problem is, once you smoke an AJ Fernandez cigar, and then you smoke another AJ Fernandez cigar from another company, they taste very similar. It's like the guy who makes Coca-Cola makes sodas for Applebee's. He makes sodas for McDonald's. Then he makes sodas for, Jack in the Box. So you go to all 3 restaurants, they have different stuff on the menu, but the sodas are all going to taste the same, if that makes any sense. That's kind of AJ Fernandez. He has a signature, and every cigar, whether it's made for a different company, they're all gonna taste very similar, and you're gonna know, hey, this is the AJ Fernandez cigar, and he tends to make good cigars though. One that I really liked that he made was the New World. He made the New World along with the Garcia family, and I don't know if there's another guy that had something to do with that cigar though. También from Florida. He lives in Miami. Shoot, what's his name, man? He's well known in the industry. Tony something. And they made this cigar, the New World, and wow, they got down. Now, there's a couple of the New World cigars, though. So, that being said, they made like 3 different blends. Every year, they kind of change it a little bit. But the last one they did was the 2020, 2021. And they came out with the New World. It's called AJ Fernandez New World. I can't remember the rest of the name of the cigar, but that one was a collaboration between the Garcia factory, AJ Fernandez, and Tony. What the heck's his name? I can't remember right off the top of my head, but man, that's a phenomenal cigar. If you find one, usually at the cigar shops, like in Fresno, if you live in Fresno, you can go to Cigar Limited. They have 2 stores, one in Clovis, one in Fig Garden Village. There's another cigar shop that's really cool on Olive in Tower District. And then you have, of course, Cigarro Mas Fino, all those cigars, all these guys, they'll have the New World. If you go online, of course, you're going to get a way better deal. Pero go in there and ask the guy if he's got any fresh New World cigars and get you a little Robusto, Robusto, I'm talking about the size. Don't go crazy. Or get you a Toro or a Robusto. Any of those two, or maybe even a Torpedo. But you don't want to get a Churchill because a Churchill is a little bigger cigar. And if you don't like it, you're going to waste a good cigar. And plus Churchills are meant to last like 2 hours. So if you don't have 2 hours to smoke a cigar, don't even buy it. It's going to cost you another couple bucks. But I would just go with the Robusto or a Toro, which is the size of the cigar and the shape. And take your time on a weekend. Make sure you got a good hour. Grab you a little glass of whatever kind of favorite whiskey you have, whether it be bourbon, scotch, cognac. Heck, I wouldn't pair it with wine. Wine does not go with the New World. Even a good cup of coffee, man. A good cup of coffee. Hey, why not a Coca-Cola? Get yourself a Coca-Cola. Not only will it help you when you're drinking the Coca-Cola and smoking the cigar, because it won't get you sick. You won't get nauseous. You won't want to throw up. The Coca-Cola is going to balance the sugars in your body and the nicotine. So it's going to help balance that out so you won't get that sick, that woozy feeling. If you never really smoked cigars, I recommend you drinking with the Coca-Cola. Anyway, you do that, and man, you're gonna love that cigar. It's called New World by AJ Fernandez, and you can look it up online. You'll find them, and they make good cigars, man. They make really good cigars. I highly recommend those. And of course, to me, one of my all-time favorites, and you guys see me in smoking before in my profile, is La Aroma de Cuba. Of course, you cannot go wrong with La Aroma de Cuba. They make 5 different cigars, La Aroma de Cuba. You got to go through and look them up. But they do have a fresh pack that you can buy at Bevmo or Total Wine and More, I believe. Yeah, Bevmo, Total Wine and More. What's the store called over there on Riverfront? Is it Bevmo or Total Wine and More? Total Wine and More. Go in there, get you a 5-pack of Aroma de Cuba. They're like $60, and you get 5 cigars, which isn't too bad. Online, you're going to pay like $32. If you can buy them online, you're better off. And they come in a fresh pack, which means you don't need to buy no bodega, any kind of humidor. You don't need nothing. This pack it comes in is a humidor. So they're going to be phenomenal cigars right out of the bag. You don't have to put them in the humidor. You don't got to wait. They're going to be beautiful. You take you one of those Aroma de Cubas and you smoke that bad boy with a good whiskey. And I'm talking a good bourbon. I'm talking about a Jack Daniels. I'm talking about any kind of Johnny Walker, the black. Anything, some of the good stuff. I mean, yeah, of course. But anyway, you smoke it with one of those and you get you a little glass about that much. Just throw a little ice in it. Don't put anything else in it. Just a bourbon with a little bit of ice in it. Sit yourself in the corner somewhere where you can smoke and just relax. And you can call me later and thank me. And that's why they smoke cigars in the movies, folks. That's why every movie you see, there's a guy smoking a cigar. Why? Because they're relaxing, man. You get to enjoy them. And don't forget, whatever you do, if you never smoke cigars, please do not inhale Don't suck that shit in. You don't want it in your lungs. Just puff and out, puff and out. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it. After you have about maybe, I say 4 or 5 cigars, and especially if you got a buddy with you and your buddy wants to try a cigar and you guys both want to try a cigar, I highly recommend you get a Monte Cristo White. Monte Cristo White, Oliva, Connecticut. If you want to spend the money and buy yourself a Davidoff, well, dale gas, fuck it. You know, you can. Most of you are gonna probably do it just to look good for the Instagram, but whatever. If you do, please smoke the whole thing. Don't waste it, because these things are not cheap, and they're meant to be enjoyed. And I would hate for you to buy a good Davidoff and then just throw it away after a couple puffs. That'd be like throwing away a good bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, man. You don't buy a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue every day. So when you do, you're gonna enjoy it. You're not gonna throw it away. You're not gonna slam it, chuck it, and do a big old piece of. You're not gonna do a big old Michoacán with a Johnny Walker Blue. You're gonna sip it and enjoy it. Oh, there you go. Check this out, folks. My production crew brought me the pack. This is how they come. This is a pack, a fresh pack, La Aroma de Cuba. There you go. All 5 of their best cigars, and every cigar in this pack is rated at least a 93 and above. That's a hell of a rating for a cigar. Check it out. 93, 93, 94, 95, and 94. Out of all these in here, this one right here is my favorite. This bad boy right here in the middle. It's called Mi Amor. It's called Mi Amor Reserva. So it's a La Aroma de Cuba Mi Amor Reserva. And that's my favorite one. For me, that's my favorite one. And this one comes in a Toro. It's just a beautiful, wonderful cigar. All these cigars in here, you're going to enjoy. If you get you one of these packs with your buddies, you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to get into cigars. You're going to thank me later. But and these are I would say medium to full. So they're a little on the stronger side. So just keep that in mind. Each cigar in this pack right here is going to take you at least an hour to smoke. So make sure you have a good hour set aside. Go out. When these days come out, when the sun starts to come out, the weather starts to get nicer, and you know the sun's gonna stay out a little longer. You're gonna get some of those fresh days in the tarde. Grab you a good cup of coffee. Grab you a good bourbon. Grab you a good cigar. Find yourself somewhere in the patio where you can relax and light this bad boy up, and just sit there and relax. Remember, a puff every minute should keep it on and keep it going. The longer the ash, the better, and you're gonna enjoy these bad boys. Yep. Anyway, that's the show for today. We're going to do another one tomorrow, hopefully, more likely. And hopefully you guys are around. I'm going to just post this one up so you guys can check it out.